Good morning, Sava here from Football Heritage TV, joined by the one and only Henry Wright. Henry Wright TV, how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Obviously, Arsenal crashing out, getting absolutely slapped by Man City. So I'm very happy this morning.
Absolutely. If you haven't already, I'm sure you have, please subscribe to this guy. He is just over 100 shy of the 11k mark. Subscribe to me. We're just over 200 away from the 5k mark. Together we'll have world domination, Henry. World domination.
The duo of dreams.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, today, what I want to talk about, Henry, I know we're going to do a video for yours in a minute about something completely different. The game against Newcastle has kind of sprung a lot more people into action that were probably a bit more passive in terms of their hate for Rangnick and Levy and the way that this club is run. We know that there's a protest today, starting at 5:30. So if you are in and around North London, if you are going to the game, please get over and support those guys for the protest. They will be nice and friendly with you. Go and say hello, take your banners, and hopefully it's a big turnout. My question is not so much about the protests, Henry. My question is about boycotting games. Now, this is a hot topic because there's no right or wrong answer to this. But many people will say, okay, well, the only way to get Rangnick and Levy out is to boycott the games.
Yep. I agree. Now, I agree somewhat because you're going to hurt where it hurts their pockets.
Absolutely.
If you're owning a business, what's the number one thing you're going to look at? Profit, right? How many people we got? 64,000 seats or something like that, 62,000. If all of a sudden 1,000 people or 5,000 people aren't at the game, Levy's going to be thinking, right, hang on, pound signs. The problem is I don't think that we have the mentality across the fan base to, what I like to say, go through the graft. And I admit, no, we haven't had trophies for a certain amount of years, 15 years to be precise, but we've had Champions League throughout that. Yeah. Right now, if we finish 8th or 9th, that's our lowest league finish this season in over a decade. So you're looking at, are we prepared to go through a couple of absolutely awful seasons to get to, maybe something? And boycotting is probably the start of it, because that's where the owners are going to think, hang on, we need to sort something out here. Yeah,
I mean, let's break this down. The difficulty is for every question you propose, there's obviously an answer, right? And there'll always be two answers depending on which side of the fence you sit. Now, if we look at this, you could turn around and say, okay, well, the majority of the people that will be going to Spurs tonight will be season ticket holders. Yep. So the question is, should they just not go and give up their money that they've paid for that one game? Versus, well, hang on, Daniel Levy's already got the money for that game. So then it becomes a case of, it's more about the visibility of not seeing thousands of fans there, which will catch the attention of Sky, of BT, of every media outlets. Where do you sit with that? Do season ticket holders have a responsibility? Because they're the lifeblood of the fans. They pay, they go every week. So should they miss games just to prove a point?
Well, one game in the grand scheme of things, if it was just a United game and it meant, say we lost quite badly and there was only like 30,000 or 40,000 people there, that would be all over Sky Sports. Tottenham in turmoil. Yeah. What does the hierarchy do now? The problem is like I said a second ago, I don't think that we have the mentality to do that. If you look at the online fan base, Levy out is basically a response to every single tweet Tottenham put out. The other day when we was playing, was it Chelsea in the under-18s or the under-19s or under-17s game? Yeah. Everyone's Levy out. When it gets to a match day, there's only 50 people there. That's what we've got to improve. If we're going to boycott, okay, it can't just be 50 seats. It's got to be a couple of thousand for them to see an impact. And if we're going to protest, it's actually got to be thousands of people. The only time we have protested in the last 10 years, properly, was for the Super League.
Yeah, I think that's the difficulty as well. I mean, look, I'm hoping that the numbers that we see tonight at the protest are huge. Obviously, I completely understand there'll be certain people, depending on where you live, depending on where you work, that it is difficult to get down for that. But I'm hoping we see some very good numbers for that. But more importantly, it's inside the stadium, isn't it? Daniel Levy will be there for sure. He'll be sitting in his nice, comfortable seat, sipping his really expensive wine or coffee or whatever he's
chai
got.
Latte. He'll be sipping a chai latte.
Exactly. Now, what he needs to hear is, and this is the double-edged sword for me, and people watching this, please let us know what you think, because for me, there's there's always an answer. There's an answer to everything.
Yeah, of course.
If it does get vitriolic in the stands, Levy out, ENIC out the whole time, boos, whistles, jeers, it's good that Levy hears that, but is it productive from a player's point of view? Will the players understand, Henry, that it's not about them, that it's about the ownership and them being removed?
It's an interesting question. I think if you got the whole South Stand, for instance, chanting Levy out, Levy out, Levy out, does it take some of the pressure off the players? I think a little bit, because it's all of our strong debates we have and opinions over the players. I think they think, hang on, they're not onto us anymore. They're onto the players, and I think the morale tonight will be higher than it was going into the Newcastle game, because there's all the reports coming out that they do like Ryan Mason and they are on Ryan Mason's side, and now you've got him coming out saying that he wants the job. I think he actually gets on with a lot of the squad. I think you'll probably see the first 15-20 minutes a bit of a bounce against Man United. I still don't think we'll win the game, but if you've got the whole South Stand chanting we want Levy out, he has got to take action now. You know, he has got to. Where do we go from here? If he brings in Nagelsmann, if he brings in whatever manager, you know, Enrique, he has got to take action on this.
So here's a question to you then. I'm going slightly off topic, but hey, listen, we'll do these videos every day, so it doesn't matter. Let's say Daniel Levy does take action. So let's say tonight is toxic. Let's say we lose the game 2-0. Let's not batter them too much. 3-0, 2-3-0. It's toxic. He listens to the fans, and then next week Spurs announce a double act of Nagelsmann and Rangnick as the sporting director of football. Now, he'll see that, and many would. I would see that as well as taking positive action. You're putting a plan in place, two people that know each other, that play the same way, that build and grow and have chemistry. Would enough of the fan base, Henry, see that that's enough of an action?
It's a start.
It is a start, but will the overriding factor for so many still be Levy ENIC out at all costs, no matter even if we put a structure in place for the football?
I think they're going to be Levy and ENIC out regardless of whoever we have in the dugout. We could have Guardiola and there still be Levy and ENIC out. United have won a trophy this season, but they're still chanting, we want Glazers out. However, if we brought through a director of football like Ralph Rangnick, who's brought players through like Kimmich for 800k, you know, had the likes of Smith Rowe, believe it or not, no one knows he played for Leipzig, and developed a structure of an academy. If we can get that going forward with Nagelsmann, that would be probably the perfect duo. You look at managers out there right now, you know, you've got directors of football like Luis Campos, you got, who's the guy that was at Tottenham years ago?
Paul Mitchell?
Yeah, Paul Mitchell, another one, he's linked with the United job. Paratici.
Dan Ashworth at Newcastle.
Yeah, whoever you want to get. At least the director of football we're looking at and the manager know each other. So there's already a chemistry there. Forget this Paratici and Conte stuff, because that was a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, of course. So you think that it wouldn't completely remove the Levy ENIC out conversation, but it would pacify people. Because the way I see it is, look, as much as I am Levy ENIC out, and I have been since 2007, just keep reminding people of that, I am also of the opinion that if Levy was to implement a plan, a structure, an ethos, and we could see where we were going, we could see a pathway to developing players, to the understanding of Rangnick and Nagelsmann, for example. Rangnick will know this is a Nagelsmann type player. And in turn, what that becomes is, this is a Tottenham type player.
Well, you look at his talent ID, right? So, who's the best player that Paratici brought through at Tottenham? Let's say Kulusevski or Bentancur. This guy has brought through the likes of Kimmich, who's one of the best midfielders in the world. You know, he's brought through the likes of Upamecano, Emil Smith Rowe. You know,
wasn't he responsible for bringing in Nkunku from PSG?
Nkunku
as well?
Sabitzer as well.
Yeah,
Sabitzer. He was. You know, I think genuinely that would be a perfect duo because. He's worked with but Leipzig don't have a huge budget. You know, he brought through Konate as well. And then the Liverpool bought him.
Someone must have bought Vardio. I don't know who done that, but whether that was Christian Vivelli, who's at Chelsea, or Rangnick before that. But the point is this: it's Levy and ENIC for me can start winning brownie points if they start implementing soon.
If they act.
Now, you know, as a fan, I'm not on the agenda of this is their last chance, purely because how many years can you say that for? And it's only their last chance if Lewis wants to sack Levy, right? It's not up to us. But he said this 2 years ago, right? You remember he came out before Paratici joined, before Nuno joined. It was that video of, we're determined to bring back the Tottenham way of playing. Then he went and got Paratici that is anything but the Tottenham way. He hired Nuno that is anything but the Tottenham way. Then Nuno went and you're thinking, okay, could you get a attacking man? No, he goes for Conte again, not the Tottenham way. So this is now pivotal, right? That he actually delivers on this now.
Yeah, because we've tried the natural born winner crap with Jose and Conte. Now let's try and get a younger manager who's on the same page as the director of football, who's on the same page as the players, who's on the same page as the owner. If we're all singing from the same hymn sheet, now this could actually be Levy's chance to eventually take action and try to go in the right direction.
Yeah.
Like I would happily sit and finish 8th or 9th for 2 years if it meant in 3 years' time we have got a solid team and we are going for trophies.
Yeah.
None of this.
I agree.
None of this. Oh, we've got to get top four.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Arsenal did it. They struggled for a couple of years, and now I know they've just bottled the league, for instance, but they struggled and finished outside of Europe twice, and then made amends to go for a title.
I mean, look, all the title talk aside for them, let's be fair, if you were to take a step back and look at where they are now going into May versus where they were last May, huge strides have been made going forward, and that's what we need to see at our club. I'm not suggesting we go on a title challenge next year, but start building. Look, last thing I'll say before we stop, what are you expecting tonight? Not from a score perspective, we'll talk about that. We've got a live show at 5 p.m. tonight on my channel for myself and Henry on Football Heritage TV, just a build up to the game. And then jump over to watch Henry on the live watch along. Then I'll be with Henry after that. It's going to be me and you a lot today.
Lots of content today.
So what are you predicting tonight from a protest and stadium vibe type position? What do you think will happen with the fans tonight?
I think there'll be more people at the protest than ever tonight, just because of the way that you've had the big counts like Daily Hotspur, Last Word on Spurs, Spurs Express, you know, Spurs Web, all of the Spurs Army, all of them coming out and advertising it. I think you'll see more people. You might see 200, 300, 400 people there tonight. I think inside the ground it's going to be toxic as ever. Yep. I think if we went a goal down in the first 15 minutes, this is going to make me sound like not a Tottenham fan. I want us to go behind so that, you know, we direct the attention. I hear. If we won tonight, it would just be papering over the cracks. It doesn't solve anything. Beating United, great. But if we lose tonight, you now think, hang on, we've beaten Brighton in the last 6 games. We're not in great form. We've still got to play Liverpool on Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be,
Yeah, we're not in a good place right now.
We'll talk about that later. Listen, at the end of the day, thank you very much for everyone who's watched this video. Please like, please subscribe to Henry Wright TV. We'll be back at 5 p.m. on my channel. See you then. Take care. And as always, come on you Spurs.